What's happening, YouTube? You're in the building with the Life Gain Avengers current culture. It's your boy Lamont. It's your boy Larry. My brother Larry. Conda forever, baby. How you feeling?
Wakanda forever, man. Wakanda forever, man. I'm feeling all right today. You know, I've been trying to get my hustle on and make a bunch of videos because I have a ton of stuff to get done. I feel like I've been fairly productive, so feels pretty good. I still have a ton more to do, but even when you have a lot to do, it feels good when you're at least being productive. So
yeah, of course,
you know,
of course. Of course it does, man. Because I mean, you know, you're a productive brother. You wouldn't be where you're at right now if you didn't find ways that when they put you in a squared circle, you figure out how to make it a real circle. That's what you do.
Yeah, man. That's how you do it.
That's what you got to do.
That's how you do it.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
get yourself up out of that mess.
Right. We're supposed to have a special guest on today that is going to tell us about the movie theater experience. He's also going to tell us about 2 movies. Hopefully he'll show up. Maybe we got our times misconstrued. If he doesn't, we still got other stuff we're going to talk about. We've got the boys. He's alive, man. He just sent me a message earlier today. We've got the boys season 2, episode 1. We got to discuss that. This show is good, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I wish they would have more than just a handful of episodes. I wish they would do a 15 episode season. We're going to discuss
I wish they would do a straight network 24 episode season, man.
Straight network, man.
Day, they used to do 24, then they cut to 22, and then they went 20, and now the cable networks do 10. Some of them do 8. Oh, hold on.
There he is. Oh my God. There he is.
I don't want to catch anything.
It's our big brother, Brandon. Brandon, before we even start, my brother, Wakanda forever.
Yes, sir.
I just got to hit you with it. Got to hit you with
definitely.
it. Just got to hit you with it.
Wakanda forever, definitely.
Yes. I've already given the people the rundown of what we're going to do today and why you've decided to bless this channel and come back and let us know how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and everything that's going on. And if you guys haven't seen my man Brandon, this is B. Avery. That's what I call him. He does just my opinion reviews. His link is in the video description. He's funny as hell. He's the only reviewer you will ever see take one for the team. And if a movie sucks, his ass will drink bleach on the screen. He will drink bleach on the screen to prevent you from going and blowing your money, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And the only thing is, I want to see that jug. He won't show us the jug live, but he got the jug. Trust me.
I can get it. You want it?
No, you ain't got to get it. You ain't got to get the jug. We know you got the jug. We've seen the evidence. So
bleach, CLR, you know, I may have to step it up the gasoline sometime, but
golly, man. No, brother, you got a whole lot of hair on your head, and I don't want nothing to catch on fire. I want you to keep
man.
You got, my brother. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and dive on into it. But before I get into it, I want to also shout out this brother right here that y'all have seen on the show in the past. This is the man that comes and cleans my channel when I get too messy. That's my big brother, E-Man.
What's up, man?
And what E-Man has done, ladies and gentlemen, he's running a promotion because we all was affected and touched by the death of Chadwick Boseman. So if you go to a link that is in my video description, E-Man is running this t-shirt sale. And when you buy the t-shirt, all the proceeds go to colon cancer. That's the kind of brother we deal with on this channel. These are the type of individuals we deal with on this channel because they're not just entertaining you, they're making humanity better. So go ahead and grab you about 30 of them bitches. I got me some. I got my wife one. Support E-Man, support colon cancer. Let's get into it. B. Avery, you are first on deck, my man.
Yes, sir. What you want to know?
Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Tenet. He's seen it. He doesn't lie about his reviews. But I got to tell you this. This man braved the elements of the movie theater without tears. Because if it was me, I'd be up in there fucking crying, man. Because I ain't trying to breathe in the Rona. He went to the movie theater and sacrificed Rona to tell you guys about Tenet.
Because
That's why I have my mask on. I don't want that stuff to come through the airwaves. Man,
I
I'm
got
gonna
you,
spend so
man.
much rolling in that theater.
Oh,
I got you, man.
All right, I'm gonna take it off for you. I am at home, but man, I had to tell him I was gonna mask shame you. Not that you weren't wearing one, but
Gotcha. And I love the shirts, by the way. I just had to throw that in there too. You know?
Hey, man, you know how we get down over here, man.
Really.
You know how we get down. So, first of all, tell us about the atmosphere of the theater before you go into the review.
Right. So, I pulled up. Y'all know this is directed by Christopher Nolan. And so, he always shoots his films with IMAX cameras. So the aspect ratio is much taller. So I knew well before this pandemic that I needed to go to this particular IMAX theater that's in my vicinity. And so when I first pulled up to the parking lot, I'm sorry.
He said it was an AMC.
No, it was Cinemark. It was Cinemark.
Okay.
It was Cinemark.
Okay.
So mind you, I did go on a Tuesday, and Tuesday is not the weekend, so of course it's not going to be as packed as like a Thursday, Friday night, Saturday night, something like that. But what was refreshing to me initially was when I pulled up to the parking lot, it was completely empty. Okay. It was only maybe not even more than 10 cars, maybe 7, 8 cars in the whole parking lot, and I've never experienced that in my life, unless just I'm going to a 10 a.m. movie or something like that. So I bought my tickets online. I had to get them reserved, and kind of like you guys, I'm also a little skeptical, a little reticent about going to the theater because I don't want to be on top of everybody. So I did buy my tickets early, but when you buy your tickets online, of course they show you the seats you're going to buy, and when you select the seat, the system automatically blocks out like two or three seats to your right or to your left, depending on the quantity of tickets you're going to buy. So already they have a system in place to where they're not going to have you sitting on top of each other. So that kind of just gives you a breath of fresh air, that you're not kind of just rubbing shoulders with people.
Okay.
So I bought I don't have it with me, but I took me a little hand sanitizer bottle, just in case. And, I bought my tickets online. I didn't go, pick them up at the regular ticket booth that's, standard. I went inside. They had a little kiosk. I put in my confirmation number, tickets printed out. And what was also nice was they had a hand sanitizer dispenser right next to the kiosk. So even if you're touching it, of course, don't touch your mouth or do anything silly like that. Just, sanitize your hands, and then you're going on with your business. So now the next part that was pretty impressive, and I'm speaking of Cinemark, is when you go to the gentleman or the young lady or whoever, the ticket attendant that, tears your ticket and says, hey, you're down this way or down this way, theater number 3. They had a giant shield there with like a little box like this big with a scanner down there. And I tried to hand the guy my ticket. And what was kind of funny was he was like, whoa, you can just scan your ticket right there, sir. Like, don't touch me. And I was like, right on. I like that. So I scanned.
Why are you trying to infect people?
Yeah. So I scanned my ticket. I scanned my ticket, and he looked back. He was like, okay, you're IMAX theater. Go down this way. And so the whole theater was empty. I saw one person like coming out of another theater going into the bathroom, and then I walked right into mine. So this theater probably had at the very least 400 seats, and there were probably 15 to 20 people in the whole theater, but everybody was spread out. I was on the far back row, third seat from the aisle, and there were people on my row, but they were at least 10 seats to my left. So, there was no way I could have touched them. The row in front of me was completely empty. And then there was some people spread out on that row. And then the row in front of that was completely empty. So they were basically like skipping rows. Like, it was like, on one row, you got people on the left, the middle, and the right, then skip a row. Left, middle, right, skip a row. Left, middle, right, skip a row. So to be honest with you, if you're thinking about going to the theater and you're kind of on the fence, like, hey, I don't know what I want to do. If you're in this type of scenario right here, I mean, I don't want to just say it's golden, but I think you can get away with it. Now, there were a few things that did rub me the wrong way. When I initially walked in doing the previews, I saw two people. There was a couple. They had their mask on. The next two people were eating, so they didn't have their mask on, but they had like like half of it on their ear and the other half hanging down. But they were eating popcorn. And then I saw another dude with his woman, with his date or whoever it was. She had on the mask, but he didn't. He had his just hanging down, and he wasn't eating anything. And I was kind of like, but I said in my seat. The only other thing that bothered me was during the movie about 4 times there was a woman that kept passing by me to go to the bathroom. She stepped on my toe once, and I was more annoyed.
She got close enough to step on you.
Yeah, I was more annoyed with the close with the close proximity than I was her stepping on my foot. I mean, that happens. I mean, I kind of felt like she was trolling me, like doing it on purpose. And this is Tenet, so I'm trying to focus. But other than that, man, the movie ended. I walked out, didn't get close to anybody else. And that was on a Tuesday. And so my theater experience with New Mutants was slightly different, but it worked this time. But to be honest with you, this is not going to be sustainable. I don't see this happening 6 months from now. A lot of people will lose money via the studio and the theater. So, I just don't know how they're going to swing this on the long term. Unless some type of vaccine comes that actually works, that people feel comfortable with. But I was, other than the woman stepping on my toes and crossing over me 4 times, I was pretty comfortable.
Man, damn, man, you ain't in a basketball game. What you think she is, Allen Iverson, crossing you up 4 times? What the hell, man? Like,
I don't know, man.
I think she wanted your number on the low, and you ain't giving no action. And she didn't know. You know how when you a child, you don't know how to tell the person you like them. You got to punch them in the face. I think that was her way. That was her way of saying, hey, B. Avery. You put that B. You can put that BV on me. But anyway, y'all let me quit bugging with this dude.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is your coronavirus now?
I don't know. I have no symptoms. Maybe I'm asymptomatic. I think I'm good though. I think I'm good.
Can you still smell stuff?
I can still smell stuff. Smell stuff. Yes,
all
sir.
right. So
yes,
now
sir.
We'll get to the nitty gritty, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the review. Again, if you're finding me for the first time, please subscribe to my channel. If you're finding Larry, subscribe to his. And definitely if you're finding B. Avery for the first time, his link is in video description. Just My Opinion Reviews. And for our boy E-Man, he is selling these Black Panther tees. All the proceeds go to colon cancer. Support great blackness, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
B. Avery, give us the overall rundown of the movie Tenet.
Man, it may sound cliche, and you may have heard these things before a number of times if somebody's trying to describe a movie, but seriously, my mind is blown in a great way, and it is truly an experience that you have never, ever encountered before in the theater. So I just got to give Christopher Nolan credit right there. I mean, it was fun, man. I had a few nitpicks here and there, but from what I did understand, the story was pretty interesting. It's very engaging. I can remember a number of times me being at the edge of my seat, like, oh my God, what is about to happen right now? What's going on? I'm a bit confused, but man, I'm really entertained, and we got a great lead with John David Washington.
The next Black Panther, baby. The next Black Panther. Is
that who they're talking about?
I couldn't. I wouldn't argue with that. I wouldn't argue with that. But
there's no need to have a next Black Panther. They already have the rightful ruler of Wakanda still out there.
God, man, look, man.
I'm just saying.
Man, damn it. I was supposed to be Avery. I was supposed to have burned this, but I ain't burned it. Yeah, I'm burning it after this week, and we're not gonna have this no more.
Hey, go ahead and burn all that.
My king, we cannot do that. It is our tradition.
When I tell you to do something, I mean that shit. Burn it all.
See? Yeah. And he's T'Challa's cousin too? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We gotta keep family.
It would be nice if he came back, but we'll see. We'll see.
So
But
anyway,
if anybody, another thing though, if anybody is a James Bond fan, you'll love this film on default because, with James Bond and Christopher Nolan, they're both being British or whatever. He's a big fan, and there was a lot of elements of James Bond throughout this, especially with John David Washington. I mean,
Really?
he really is. It was a ton of James Bond vibes. I mean, probably better than just James Bond himself, that persona.
Well, I mean, what do you expect from a smooth ass brother who is the son of an Academy Award winner on top of that?
Come on, don't say Academy Award winner, man. Say two-time Academy Award winner.
Two-time back-to-back Academy Award winner.
The brother was smooth, man. It was just effortless. I mean, he was born to do this, and I loved every moment of his performance. Some of his motivations in the story kind of like rub me the wrong way, and that doesn't have anything to do with him. That just has to do with the writing. Okay, like, why are you so passionate about this character right here and trying to save them, and you don't know them? It was kind of annoying, but I don't want to get into any spoilers. But sometimes with these big blockbuster films, there's like these subliminal messages that they kind of throw in, kind of like we saw. Did y'all see the latest Star Wars trilogy with John Boyega? I forgot his character's name. He was like obsessed with Rey, and that kind of it's just like it wasn't to that degree. But there was something about his character in this where it was little sprinkles of that. So that's a little knock right there. But that time inversion, bro, like, man, I still don't understand it completely. And I do want to go back to the theater. I'm gonna have to pick a time where it's empty to take it in all again. But it was breathtaking, man. Like really next level stuff right there. Kind of like I don't want to say as shocking as The Matrix in '99, how that kind of blew everybody away, but it was close. It was close to where you're just like, what is
that's a big statement, man, because The Matrix was some next level stuff at that point.
Yeah, man. That was The Matrix was revolutionary when it came out.
So let me ask you from a technical standpoint. I've heard that they spent so much money on the cinematography that they just forgot about the budget for the sound design because people are saying that you can't hear them. Like the movie's beautiful, it's beautifully shot, but you just can't hear it.
That was my number one gripe, man. That was the next thing I was about to say. It's like, the score is great, and the sound effects are nice and tight. If he punches somebody or hit somebody with a plate or something, you can hear those sound effects. But there was just a few scenes of dialogue where I'm just like, okay, what the hell did he just say? I know that was an important plot point, and I have no idea. There was also one scene where they were on a boat talking about something that you knew was important. In every Christopher Nolan film, you do have to pay attention to every word, every syllable. But it was just like, you just couldn't understand what they were saying. So that was kind of annoying. Unfortunately, Nolan is known for that because, like the Dark Knight Rises film, I don't know, like before it came out, he released like the intro of Bane, that scene, and so many people were complaining about like, hey man, we can't understand what Bane is saying, so we had to go back and like redub it. So even today, if you go like after this, if you go watch the Dark Knight Rises, you can tell that Bane's voice was recorded on a different stage or something like that. It's kind of distracting. I mean, it's really disappointing that this film is like a $205 million budget. You're doing stuff like T2 and The Matrix with all this technology, having characters fighting each other, one going forward and one going backward at the same time. I mean, like seriously out of this world stuff, but you can't get the sound right.
Yeah,
it's like
crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like having a tux with no shoestrings in your shoelaces in your shoes or something. It's just like, really, bro? I don't know.
Damn, better not be trying to go dunk on nobody. I mean, Lord. So I want to ask you this, and then we'll scoot on down the field to the next movie we want to talk to you about.
I have one more question for him after you finish up too.
Okay. Do you? considering you did say it was an enjoyable experience for you,
Yes.
do you like the cast? Do you like the interaction between the cast? And what is the overall narrative for the movie?
I love the cast. Everybody did a good job. Especially Kenneth Branagh. You know, he was a true villain that I was afraid of. You know, I was like, damn. He just was like, he just didn't waste any time. He's like, dude, if you cross me, I'm gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up. You know, his motivation, was like, you know, his presence was scary, but his motivation was weak. In my opinion, you know, I mean, now there could be that I possibly didn't fully understand the plot. You know, but the overall narrative, you know, is just they're just trying to prevent World War III. It's kind of, I mean, you know, this dude Kenneth Branagh is butthurt, and he's wanting to take it out on everybody. And and this is not a spoiler because this is in the trailer. He's teaming up with people in the future to bring the to just kind of to bring the world to an end. And it's kind of hard to talk about it without spoiling it, you know.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it, Larry.
So this is, and I don't want to get you in any trouble by saying if you have to answer it, but I'm curious, how do you feel about Christopher Nolan essentially forcing people into the theater to see this? Now, I understand why he wanted people to go, because this thing was shot on 70 millimeter IMAX. It was designed to be shown on very large screens, and he didn't want it reduced down to the size of someone's big screen or someone's iPad or phone, even though all movies get to that point anyways. I understand from a creative point of view why he wanted it on the big screen, but considering that we're in the midst of a pandemic and people are out there dying, I mean, for me, I told myself there's no way in hell I will go see this movie. I may not even watch it at home because I'm personally a bit disgusted by the fact that he forced people to go out there, because they could have done this and released it like they did Mulan. They could have charged people, you know, $25, $30, whatever, and let people watch it at home. And yeah, it wouldn't have been on an IMAX, and that's how it was intended to be shown. But so anyway, I'm just curious about your feelings about that whole situation.
I mean,
people having to go see it at the theater.
Yeah, that's a very fair question. From the information, I mean, I don't know what type of information he's had as far as data and science on why this could be a good decision to make. But overall, I don't like it because you're putting people at risk, and it could have waited. I mean, throughout Hollywood, there are tons of films repeatedly. It's a standard procedure that are shot, and for whatever reason has to be sit on the shelf for a few 6 months, 3 years, or something like that. So
the next one we're going to talk about is a situation like that.
This could have waited until next summer. I understand, like, this is a passion project of his, you know, and you want to get it out. You've worked so hard on it, etc. But it doesn't matter if it doesn't make money. And I just don't see this film making money right now, especially with the budget. I mean, people are not just going to go back to the theater. So, I mean, it's a bit. It's a bit irresponsible, to be honest with you. I mean, it didn't have to come out right now. And then it's not like this is some small, you know, indie romantic comedy or something like this. This is a giant blockbuster, one of, you know, some of the biggest, potentially a $1 billion film. And, you know, you have this cast, you have, you know, I mean, the director himself is more popular than the cast. So it's not like people are not going to show up. So he could have waited till at the very least of March, you know, to where I don't want to get too political, but, you know, we'll be in a different administration with different guidelines and rules, and he could have waited. He could have waited.
So I'm curious because, you know, like you said, he could have waited. I think he should have waited. And do you think it would have been, well, do you think this movie would be a big, potentially $1 billion movie if they had released it without a pandemic? And the reason why I wonder is that with there being so many theaters closed, the number of people being limited in each theater, the likelihood that they're ever going to reach that level of financial success with this movie, in the theater seems just highly unlikely. And so it makes me wonder, maybe he knew the movie wasn't going to be up to the caliber that people were expecting, and they gave him $200 million. So if he forces it into the theater and it tanks, he can go back and say, well, it would have done better, but it was the pandemic. How could I possibly have done the numbers that you expected when they were only allowing 25% capacity? And that was at max, and people weren't showing up because they were scared. It wasn't the movie. It was the situation at hand. And I'm wondering if he knew the movie wasn't up to par. I don't know if it is or not, but I mean, I wonder. That's what I'm wondering.
You know what they call that in the political spectrum? They call that plausible deniability. You're hedging your bets when you do what Larry just said you do. That's what you're trying to say. Larry, are you accusing Christopher Nolan of hedging his bet?
I'm gonna say that I think he thought this movie might have been a commercial flop, and so he was worried about it. Really? And forced the release of it in the theaters, because if it turned out to be a flop, then he had a good excuse that he can go back and say, and when his financiers and everybody else are upset that they're not going to recoup their $200 million, he can go back and say, look, it was the pandemic, But if it happened somehow to do great, then he can sit up there and boast and say, oh, look at me, in the middle of a pandemic, I'm still making you money, my movies are still bringing people in. I think what they really should have done is made a really big ahead and let people have it for 15, 20 bucks and see what it does, and just see what it does.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I don't think I would go that far. I mean, because in my opinion, he hasn't had a film that was just horrible. Maybe he had some thoughts like, okay, maybe this isn't my best, because it's not his best film. It's not his worst film either. It's definitely somewhere. I mean, he did some things within this film that no one has ever done before, but I don't know if I would say that he didn't think it would. He probably said, okay, maybe it may not make $1 billion, but I don't think he ever, felt that, okay, this is not going to be successful. But it's just unfortunate, man. The way it turned out, because this was my most anticipated of the year, and
really,
it's not getting the attention that it deserves, in my opinion. Because honestly, guys,
he could have sold this to Netflix or something, or to Disney, and probably have at least made the money that the film cost right there, and then whatever else that he was going to make on ancillary sales, whether it's DVD sales or VOD down, whatever it was going to be, he could have made the other additional profits. It wasn't going to be $1 billion, but he probably could have made a deal to, at the very least, recoup the investment of his financiers. And instead, I bet you this movie's going to be a loser.
Yeah, I think so. I may even do a box office breakdown this weekend on Sunday. I haven't did one of those in like a year. I used to do those all the time, but I'll just go ahead and say this. I mean, primarily a few reasons why I felt I was obligated to go to the theaters, because one, this was my most anticipated film of the year. Right. Two, I knew the theater was going to be empty. I mean, I just knew people weren't going to, flock to the theater. And then three is it's just like, I do movies, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like a casual person or an average moviegoer. I mean, that is, what I do. That's my passion. Whether I was reviewing films or not, that's just my passion. So, but if this was like, man, I think theaters, they're only allowing like 40 to 50% of their theaters to be full. If this was like 70 or 80%, even with those things I just said, I wouldn't go. I would not want to be that close to anybody, because I felt safer at the theater than I do at the grocery store. Just how close I am to everyone around me.
Here's my concern with this, is that movie theaters, they may start off right now with you know, 10, 15 people in there, maybe on a weekend, maybe with a place that has 400 seats, maybe you end up with like, 75 in there. But as we have seen with airlines where it's only supposed to go 20, 30% of capacity, or they're supposed to leave all the center seats open. And then all of a sudden we start seeing all these photos where the flights were all fully booked and people were jam-packed in there. And after you get all those people in there, people aren't wearing masks. They may wear a mask to get on there, but once they're in there, they stop wearing them, and you can't go constantly back and try and enforce that. I'm afraid that if people get the feeling that movie theaters, oh, look, there's only a few people in there, we can sneak in there and see a movie without anybody in there. The next thing you know, the movie theaters will be packed again, except they're not going to be safe because because I think what happens is right now, when the theater owners are trying to entice people back, they enforce these strict safety, measurements. So these 6 straight safety protocols to try and make people feel safe. But as they start to feel the pinch, when they really realize, crap, we've been back open for 6 weeks, for 8 weeks. We're paying our employees, and we're not turning a profit. We're operating at a serious loss right now. All of a sudden, they're going to start increasing that capacity. Oh, yeah, this big movie's coming out. We're going to allow 75%. Or we're going to allow only 75%. We're going to only allow 50% in the other movies, but we're going to allow 75% in the IMAX, and they'll make up some excuse. Well, the IMAX is different because they have bigger seats that lounge, and so you're already naturally distanced from people because they're larger. And then the next thing you know, you have a damn super spreader event.
Yeah, and that's a fair assessment. Because I'll comment more on this when we talk about New Mutants, because that theater was designed completely different from this one. But as you were talking, I just looked this up, and this is pretty important. There's, usually, the Cinemark that I went to is Cinemark 17, so it has 17 screens. However, right now, there's only 3 new release movies in the whole theater. So, in the whole building. So, if you have Tenet, okay, if one auditorium is only at 40-50% capacity, even 30, you can put it on 10-11 screens or whatever to spread it out that way and still possibly recoup funds. I remember someone mentioning that a while ago, another pundit online, but that may work to where everybody wins. But I mean, we're still playing with fire here, because the longer we kind of, put our toes in the water, is prolonging this whole thing. I mean, like everybody, I want to put this behind us, and the best way to do that is to shut everything down. But at the same time, that's kind of selfish for me to say because people got to work. So I don't know, man.
B. Avery, it's not selfish to do what has worked in other countries. You shut it down and you have your government pay people. That's the point of the government working for the people.
You're absolutely right.
China, they shut everything down. They paid people to stay home. They did it in Europe, and they have got some of the best COVID-19 results.
You're right. I cannot argue with that. I cannot argue with that.
That movie, and I get that these filmmakers want to see their movies on the big screen. I mean, that movie, I can't remember the name of it, that Tom Hanks recently put out about the World War II naval captain.
Greyhound?
That was out there.
Greyhound.
Huh?
I think it was Greyhound.
Greyhound, yeah. Movie, I can tell, it wasn't the best movie at all. It was not the best movie, but the cinematography in that movie was beautiful. It was shot wonderfully, but the movie was crap. And he was talking about he was saying he said he was really disappointed because he wanted that. You liked it?
I thought it was it's all good.
I thought it was okay. I'm in between both of y'all. I thought it was okay.
It wasn't the best, but I was
filmmaker and a photographer. I loved watching. I loved visually watching it, but I was like, that movie just was seriously lacking in so many areas, But he said he wanted to see it on the big screen. I can understand why, looking at it visually, why that should have been on a big screen. But at the same time, I mean, you recognize that it's probably wouldn't have. It's just not the best time to put that on the big screen, And to be honest with you, I don't think that movie would have been commercial success anyways because it was kind of garbage. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, besides it being like if you want to look at a movie that was visually beautiful, a war movie that was visually beautiful and was great, was like 1917. That movie was great.
God. Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It was good, but we got to keep it moving. So, B. Avery, on a scale of 0 to 10, what would you rate this movie so we can get to the next one?
Oh man, Tenet.
10 being best, 10 being perfect, 0 being complete flop. You need to pull out your jug of bleach.
In my review, I didn't give it a rating because I said I got to think about it, but I said that I got to give it at least a 7.5. I'm gonna give it, man. I give it an 8.
Okay.
All right. And I'm taking 2 points away for forcing people into the theaters. That's a 6.
Damn, man. See, God, this guy. Oh my Lord. Yeah. We're moving right along, ladies and gentlemen. Got to be more careful. It's New Mutant time.
Christopher Nolan, if you're watching, come on, bro. I would happily give $19.99 to go watch that at home. You don't need to force people into the theater. Not yet. Not yet. Yeah. Either that or push it. Put it on the shelf and wait.
We're going to have a whole nother conversation about the dynamics of the movies and why they're pushing them. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, it's New Mutants time. Me and Larry was arguing that they should have dropped that on Disney Plus. And we've got the man here who sacrificed himself to go see it. His name is B. Avery. And if you're finding any of us for the first time, subscribe to my channel, Larry's channel, B. Avery's channel. It's called Just My Opinion Reviews. Links is in the video description. And if you're still sad about the death of the first Black Panther, T'Challa, you can go get this nice t-shirt done by our big homie E-Man, and all the proceeds go to colon cancer. Having said all those things, B. Avery.
They can't even make another New Mutants now that they waited so long to put it out. All the kids are like 30. I mean, they made that movie in like 2016 or something.
Yeah. So B. Avery, tell us all about it, and tell us about my girl Arya Stark, because everybody know I chase her around. That's my girl. Tell me about the movie New Mutants.
You mean woman? She's 45 now. I'm sorry. Go ahead, B.
Oh no! You're good. Tell you about the movie. Simply put, it just wasn't good at all.
What? After all that waited, and it wasn't even that good.
This was the worst X-Men film to date. The worst.
Let me ask you, was it just that you had elevated expectations, or was it really just that bad?
It wasn't even like garbage, like bleach garbage, because when I pull out the bleach or the CLR, that's like hilariously bad. Like, what were you thinking bad? You know what I'm saying? This was just like it was first of all, it was boring as hell.
What?
It was a bore fest, bro. I'm in there chilling, like, is something gonna happen, man? It was an hour and 38 minutes to be exact, and nothing. It didn't pick like, okay, so I'm pretty sure y'all saw the intro scene.
Yeah,
that they released with the demon bear. That was the best part of the film.
In the beginning,
yes.
Wow.
So nothing happened.
Wow.
From that point on, nothing happened until the 1 hour and 10 minute mark. Because I remember looking at my watch like, damn, like, when is something going to happen? Like really? And I was like, okay, the movie's almost over. Thank God. And then it picked up a little bit, like the character Magic.
Yeah.
I don't even know what. We are comic book fans. You know what I'm saying? We pay attention. Right. I don't even know what her power is. You know what I'm saying? And I got the Marvelous Encyclopedia downstairs. I got 3 editions. And I'm just
look. I got one too.
I should go get mine. Man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Really? I like that. Well, that's a DC version. Is that anyway? But bro, it was it was boring as hell. We were just talking about how well the cinematography was in Greyhound 1917 and also Tenet. Dude, it looked like
no, don't say it. No,
it looked like they colored this film with like a dried up color markers or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it was dull, it was bland. The characters were not interesting at all.
Not to me.
I'm trying to think. I got it. Let me look at the cast list. No.
And B.
No,
Avery, they've got like 3 of some of the hottest young stars that you can find out there. They've got the chick from Game of Thrones. They got your boy from Stranger Things. They got the girl that was in the movie with James McElroy, the scary movie. They got her, and I mean, all of them can act their butt off. And you mean to tell me you ain't get inspired by none of them?
No, bro.
So I'm wondering, because they delayed this movie so many times. I'm wondering the delays. I wonder if they were going back and trying to reshoot scenes because they were so bad.
Yeah, of course. It was so blatantly obvious that they toned it down. Like after the movie, I was seeing clips online that were not in the film because this was supposed to be like a horror film, like a horror comic book film. Yeah. And after I saw the film, I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute! That was kind of scary. Why wasn't that in the movie?" You know,
right?
And they tried to have like these dream sequences that kind of reminded me of Freddy Krueger. You know, of course, he always dealt with dreams, but it just wasn't scary. You know, it was just like, "Oh, okay, is this supposed to be the scary part here?" I mean, it's just really forgettable. I mean, it's just
wow.
Like I could just keep going, but it just I'll say this. When I saw the film, I said, okay, I don't want to think about this anymore. And then when you hit me up and you was like, yeah, we're gonna be talking about Tenet, I was like, yes. And also New Mutants, I was like, oh damn, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing exciting about that, you know. Like I was on cancel on you. You know, I'm just
the wind out the room.
Yeah, I was just like, man, like bro, if we were just talking about New Mutants alone, I would have made up an excuse, like, yeah, man, my car broke down. Or,
oh my god. I told Larry, I said, Larry, he must not want to talk about the stuff we want to talk about because he can relate. Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Look, man. Look, we've got to treat you like I'm an investigative reporter. You're the movie expert. Because there are some things I got to know, man.
Go ahead.
Me and Larry said, why not just put the movie on fucking Disney Plus in the first place? And we talked about how Kevin Feige came on and said, ooh, he sat through the reshoots and he wanted it to be this, he wanted it to be that. So my question to you is, when you watch that film, do you honestly think Kevin Feige signed off on what you saw?
No, I think he did. I think he looked at it and was like, and just like, I don't give a crap. Just throw it out there. I didn't have nothing to do with this. I mean, no, I don't. I really don't. And the thing is, it could have been better. You know, I mean, sometimes when you're watching the film, you can tell that some things are left on the cutting room floor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, since this has been promoted for so long, I mean, you know, we look at trailers more than the average person. It's like, wait a minute, they didn't use this scene, they didn't use that scene. You know, what's going on? It's like it's just tonally all over the place. You know, the acting was.
I hate when movies have the guts of being great and then they just don't fill them out.
Right.
You know.
Right. I mean, and
that's more disappointing than a movie just being purely bad. It's like when you see the framework there and you're like, this could have been so good, and it just isn't.
What doesn't make sense to me is we've literally been having comic book films for right over 20 years. I mean, X-Men 2000 and then Blade right before that. So you've had countless templates to bite off of. You know what I'm saying? But 20th Century Fox, which is now 20th Century Studios, this is how you want to end your X-Men run? I don't understand, bro. It's just beyond me. I mean, it's like with 20th Century Fox, which is no more, they would have a good X-Men film and then crap, then a good X-Men film and then crap, then a good X-Men film and it's just crap. You know, like how do you from Days of Future Past to Apocalypse?
My god.
It's like, and it's I don't know. It's
I don't know what licensing deals they've made for streaming, but I can imagine that if they decided that they were going to send this to Disney Plus or Netflix or something, they probably would have done much better, because once the word's out this movie is a stinker, if they haven't already made licensing deals, whatever amount they thought they were going to get, they're probably going to get about half of that now.
Man,
you know.
I think I glanced at it last week. I think this film made $8 or $9 million opening weekend. That is horrible. I mean,
what's the budget on it? 120,
even in the
130?
pandemic, though. Even in the pandemic, that's horrible.
Because
Because I saw where Tenet made 29 million.
I don't even know how to scale it, man. For you to say even in the pandemic, I have no idea.
Because I know 9 million opening weekend on a normal weekend. Hell, you should have just went straight to Netflix. But I mean, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about theaters only allowing 20% capacity. 9 million doesn't sound that bad for a movie that's trash.
I'll give you that. Now I'm looking it up right now, and I did not know this. The production budget was $67 million, so that is very cheap.
Yeah,
that is low. I mean, $67 million is a lot of money, but like for a Hollywood production X-Men film, that's very cheap. You know, Tenet was $205 million, Black Panther was $200 million, but it's still going to lose money because by far.
Tenet said they made $53 million.
Right.
Worldwide, they're at 53 million. That's respectable considering.
Right, and they made 29 US first weekend.
Yeah,
that's respectable for the considering. It's still not. It's still only a quarter of what their budget is.
Hold on. It made 29 million or 59 million.
In the US,
it's 53. It's 53.6 worldwide for Tenet.
Yeah, worldwide. US, it was like 29 something.
Because I think the first time the public was able to see it in the U.S. was Monday, so this is the first full weekend. So we'll see. I may do something on Sunday. We'll see. I may run the numbers. But
let us know because I'd be curious to know, man. So Larry, what kind of questions do you have about New Mutants? And if not, man, I'm gonna finish him with one more question. Then we're gonna move on because I am disgusted. because me and Larry was arguing with E-Man that they should just drop this movie, just drop it on streaming. We was arguing with this guy, and he gave us, all his eloquent talking point. The man could damn run for office if he wanted to. They think he's Barack Obama Jr. And he made a great eloquent soliloquy for why it should stay in the theater. And me and Larry was just like, bro, you said all them big words, and we sitting here telling you this shit need to go straight to stream.
It should have, man. It would have been. It would have done better, in my opinion. This is a waste. This was a waste.
So, and what's funny is that some of the movies I feel like that have been on streaming, some of them have been some really garbage movies. I feel like they've been dusting off some old stuff that was shelved and was probably never going to see the light of day. But now that they're running thin on content, I feel like they're dusting some of this old stuff and putting old stuff off and putting it out. And a movie like this, where the expectations, I think, for a lot of people are already pretty low for what they're going to get on streaming, I think probably would have done better, and people would have felt like the movie was a little bit better. Because I don't know about you, if I'm sitting there and there's a long gap between when there's the first action and the next action, if I'm sitting on my own couch with my laptop in there and fiddling with my phone and scratching my belly or something, it's not going to be as uncomfortable. If I'm sitting up there with a doggone face mask in the middle of a pandemic, I'm going to be like, hurry up and get to some action.
Man, are you a pit bull? Somebody talking about he's scratching his belly. Damn, man. Are you
going to say something else?
I was, and I had to roll it back. I was going to say something else, but I had to roll it back.
This dude, man.
And belly was the next thing that I was like, okay, let me go north a little bit. Belly, okay. Thinking of belly. Maybe they should just re-release Belly and put that in the theaters,
Hey, it could work.
I mean, and it's just the convenience of being at home, people got their libations, whether, what part of the country, and you got some things that are legal and stuff, that you can, partake in, and it's just a missed opportunity, the studios have to cough over 30 to 35% of the sales of the film, for it to do well, and if it's not making any money, nobody wins. So
damn. So my last question,
they're coming out of pocket.
Yeah, they're coming out.
Just the expense of being open, they're coming out of pocket.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So B. Avery, before we move on, and you get to sit back and listen to Larry, what could be more scary on a Friday night than giving Larry the wheel to this life gain truck. But what I'll ask you to move us to the next subject. Rate this movie, 0 being you got to bring out your bleach, 10 being it was great.
New Mutants.
New Mutants.
I give it a 4. 4 out of 10.
Ooh. Plus the 2-point deduction for making people go to the theater. That's only a 2.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, that's only a 2. Woo.
Ladies and gentlemen, save your money. Don't even worry about New Mutants. Hell, me and Larry was just talking about it's been like 14, 12 months since we had a Marvel movie. Don't even waste your time.
Yeah.
Don't waste your money. Chill out.
So now let me ask you a question about this. And here's my debate. I'm seriously debating. I don't want to, but I'm debating doing it. I'm debating whether or not I should pay that ridiculous $35 or whatever it is to see Mulan on Disney Plus. Now, I don't want to pay that much. I don't think you should have to pay that much. I don't think it's worth it. But I kind of want to encourage other people to release their big budget would-be blockbuster movies on streaming, especially right now. And I think if we can get people, I think if these movies earn a lot of money, that people will be more inclined to do it. And so I'm debating whether or not to do that just as a show of support. But part is just like a little insulted that Disney put out $35. That's obscene. I'm thinking like 20. How about $19.99? That would have been sort of a no-brainer at that point.
Not to be a stickler, it's $30, so you saving $5, but I understand what you're saying. But me, it just depends on your interest in the movie. I mean,
okay,
Mulan is not anything that I was like, man, I cannot wait for that Mulan to drop. You know,
me neither.
But I mean, if you did have that feeling, like I would possibly do this for Black Widow. Like if I had no other option. I want Black Widow bad, but Mulan, I want to see Mulan, but if I don't see it, I don't care.
And see that I'm with Larry on that one. I'm with Larry on the fact that.
What do you think the right price is?
Oh, you already know. Trolls have shown us the pathway. $19.99. It's the settling price. I mean, especially if Disney is still, you already have Disney Plus, you're paying either a monthly membership or you bought it in advance. So you're already having to pay for the app anyway. Then you're paying on top of what you're already getting another $19 or whatever it is to go to Disney. People would do that. I think people would do that.
Definitely. And and you do own the film too forever. But I don't know, man.
As long as you have the subscription.
Right. As long as you have
don't
a
get
subscription
the with you. Yeah.
Right. I mean, $20, cool. But studios will lose a lot of money that way. It's just unfortunate, man. Like we have all these new variables, and I mean, me personally, I just don't know how to analyze it the right way for it to make sense around the board,
Right.
But $30, I'm not gonna pay $30 for Mulan.
Me neither. My wife wants to see it. Yeah, but be able, if you can get the data.
Here's the tricky thing, right? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, be able, if you can get the data on Sunday, shoot us a message and let us know how much is made if you can find it by Sunday. How much Mulan has pulled in since they started last night. Right.
I definitely will. I don't know if y'all heard of the numbers.com, the-numbers.com. They may have that information, but we'll see.
Okay.
I'll tell you. I usually go to Box Office Mojo.
Yeah, that one too.
So this is the thing that's curious for me with that. This is the thing that's curious for me with that is that they say that you get to keep the film for as long as you have the Disney subscription, which is kind of silly because the movie supposedly is going to be released to all Disney Plus subscribers in December. So Correct. It's like, you own it from now into December because after that, it's just a regular Disney Plus, offering, which is, I mean, I guess in some respects it's nice. It's better than having the typical rental where you have 24 or 48 hours to watch it from the moment you start watching it. But I mean, it's sort of silly. Oh, you get to keep the movie as long as you have your subscription. It's like, yeah, but in December everybody gets it, so it's sort of less lowering the value of it. So,
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So,
and if you like BitTorrent, you can watch it already anyway.
Hey man, damn it, man, stop it, man. Moving right along, B. Avery, sit back, relax, throw your feet up, and put on your seatbelt. We're about to give Larry the keys to the car because, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to talk about the very first episode of season 2, The Boys, on Amazon, and we're going to let Larry do the lead in. If you're finding us for the first time, please subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to Larry's channel. Subscribe to B. Avery's channel. And we have a special guest in the comments section. My man, Level by Level Gaming, what's up? Subscribe to his channel too for all the latest and greatest in gaming. I need to ask him about that Avengers game in the first place. So, Larry, the floor is yours. Amaze me and B. Avery. Give us your rundown of The Boys Season 2, Episode 1.
Well, I have one question right out the gate.
Oh boy,
and it's probably not going to be politically correct. But
God.
What I want to know is did Starlighter, did she go and move to Dominican Republic and get on their diet and start eating some rice or something? Because I mean, is it just me? There's a whole lot of ass over since last season. I'm not even joking at this point. I was watching. I was like, I don't remember all that last season. I mean, I know she's got those extra high heels on and the platforms helping boost it up a little bit, but I was like, well, damn, you know, she had a document from.
Or they put some extra plastic back there, like your girl, Miss Anthony.
Something, I don't know, man. She was looking a little K Michelle-ish over there. I was like, well, damn, you know.
My.
Okay, so obviously, her new look was such a distraction for Larry that he probably couldn't focus in on the story. Larry, tell us the story.
No, it is very interesting. They're starting off with some very cool things that are happening, like Homelander is, Homelander knows that he has a child, and so now he's up there dealing with that, and he seems like, I haven't seen all of them. I've only watched the first 2 episodes, but it looks like he's off into full cuckoo mode. They have the new member of the team of the 7 named Stormfront, and she seems like just a straight up badass. And it's gonna be fun to see what's going on with her, because she's one of those types that seems like she just doesn't give a just doesn't care. And the way that she seems to be challenging everybody, it's not like she's challenging people in such a way like just being a jerk. She's just challenging people like, this is stupid. Why are we even doing this? No, that's dumb. This doesn't make any sense. I don't care if this is the way everything's always been done. It's just she seems sort of like a very common sense person that's in the middle of a kind of dumbass world. And so it's going to be, her character is going to be really interesting. What's his name's character is going to be interesting. The Deep, to see how he plays out, because he
the Deep. Only on a show like that would they name somebody the Deep, and it looks like we lost Larry in the Deep somewhere. B. Avery.
Okay, is he back?
Okay, you back? Oh no, we've lost him in the Deep, B. Avery. See, he started talking about the Deep, and then he went and lost in the Deep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, while Larry's getting everything together, first episode was dynamite. It laid down the groundwork for what it is we're going to see this season. If you guys recall, last season was pretty dark, and we enjoyed seeing a rendition of a superhero team that was very, very dark. I mean, and it's the beginnings of the darkness is starting now. However, the team has one person that Larry already told y'all eloquently, but has grown 4 inches, who looks to be like she's going to be infiltrating the team to help destroy the supes. That's what they call these bad superheroes. And the new character they're introducing, Stormfront, her ass is bad. She can take on Homelander, and I'm wondering if they're creating a dynamic where at the end of the season she might split because Homelander is so much of a jerk. Now, B. Avery, have you seen any of the boys? I know you've probably seen last season, but have you had a chance to see any this season?
No, sir, man. I am really behind on the boys. I need to catch up. I've heard nothing but good things about it, but with so many episodes, I'm like, man, it just, it just seems like I'm so far behind. But I'll get there. I'll get there. I will make sure that I am caught up before the season is over.
So did you at least see last season?
Just episode 1. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I liked it. It was different. It was like, whoa, never seen this side of superheroes before. Well, they're assholes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Larry,
you'll
you
like
good?
it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So Larry, finish explaining your breakdown of episode 1 before you cut off.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I like the fact that they have this new woman, Stormfront, that's on there. She seems like she's going to be a challenge for everyone. She's like she's already challenging some of the typical gender biases that they have in there. Like she was making a joke that I often hear, that my wife often makes, about not having pockets in her costume or her uniform. And and so because she had her phone ring in an interview and she picks up a purse and everyone's looking like, what are you doing carrying a purse? She was like, what? Do you see any pockets? Why don't they have pockets? And then she was talking to Starlighter about her uniform and saying she used to admire her, and now she looks like, I forgot the word she used, but basically she was saying she looked like a little, like a little hooker or something, with all of her, her high go-go boots and the little uniform that's up her ass and the low cut everything. And so it seems like they're definitely gonna play to that somewhat. You have the Deep, like I said, he's going through his whole existential crisis, and it looks like he's about to join an organization that looks like very much a joke or a I don't know what you want to call it. They're just sort of, I don't want to say they're making fun of them, but I guess they kind of are, of the Church of Scientology. It's sort of like
the
Church of Scientology.
Right.
Yeah, an offshoot of that. So there's definitely some interesting storylines that they're doing. We're gonna see how Homelander knows that he has a kid, and so there's this whole thing about how he's going to act as a father and how he's gonna deal with this kid. It's just there's a lot of stuff that could be really, really fun dealing with this. I feel like last year they really focused on the whole superhero thing, and that they were sort of, some were good, some were bad, but they were all flawed in their own way. We never really saw our superheroes as flawed. They were always basically perfect in a lot of ways. The last year was all about these flawed superheroes, and this year I feel like we're going to get to know much more about them individually and how they deal with each other, as a team and such. And so, I think last year they did more of the superhero-ish stuff, and I think this year it's going to be more just about them. So we'll see.
Now, do you feel like Stormfront kind of planted the flag that she is at some point in time going to splinter the group and go against Homelander? Do you felt like they was kind of dripping those seeds in this first episode?
I don't know. I feel like at some point they might end up going against Homelander, but and you can see some of that, because you can see that she's already sort of started to have somewhat of a bond with Starlighter,
right?
Or Starlight, and the way that Starlight, basically just shut down, what was his name? The black dude that's sort of like the Flash. I forgot his name. Whatever his name is. She sort of shut his whole situation down when he was threatening to dime her out. And so I can see where maybe she ends up pulling him in on her side, even if at first it's reluctantly and then voluntarily. The Deep is already, he's off on some deep end stuff. So I think she might actually be able to get the Deep too if she wants him. Like she might be able to say, look, you owe me. So I could see there being a split in the team, maybe where Starlighter, who is sort of an unlikely character to lead a rebellion group or a splinter group, I can see her maybe actually being one that does. So
did you say she wants the D?
The Deep.
Ah, gotcha.
Yes.
That's one of the characters. That's one of the characters up there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And they have a terrible relationship because when she first joined the Seven, he tricked her into giving him a head, and so, which is one of the reasons he got kicked out of the Seven. Not to spoil it for you, but since you haven't seen the first season, but that was part of the impetus behind that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, ladies and gentlemen, me and Larry will pick up on episode 2 and 3 Monday. Me and Larry got a lot to cover Monday. Sharonda has said she'll be coming back. We've got to cover Power Monday, P-Valley, the final episode. Who the hell is going to die? I heard Gidget is gone. And then we also got to talk. Yeah, I heard they're going to get rid of Gidget, my brother.
How you going to get rid of the one white person? You going to find a new token?
Hey man, how do you think black people been feeling this whole entire time on TV? What about Saved Bell?
And then they go find a new token. That's why I was like, they got to go find a new token.
Golly. So it will. In closing remarks, ladies and gentlemen, if you love the reviews and the little spoilers, the little piece of tidbit B. Avery gave you, be sure to subscribe to his channel. Go check out some of the full review he has done on Tenet and New Mutants. Tune in to Larry's crazy ass channel because when he's doing his reviews, he's literally not crazy. And y'all know what y'all gonna get from me. Any closing remarks you would like to say to the people, B. Avery, before we get out of here? I have to go give my daughter a bath night. It's bath night for baby L, and she just likes to terrorize daddy.
Yeah. If you are excited about going to go see Tenet, be careful. Go see it now while the theaters are empty. I don't encourage you to go do it later on because I'm trying to get this pandemic behind us. You don't need to rush to see New Mutants. I personally think it's a waste of time and money and energy, but that's on you. Other than that, I do appreciate you always having me back, man. I always have a good time. You guys are great. And like you said, just subscribe to my channel, Just My Opinion Reviews. And, this Sunday or this weekend, I'll be talking Lovecraft Country episode 4.
Oh,
I'm going to do a box office breakdown. And, thanks for having me.
I actually forgot about that, but, that's one of the reasons Sharonda comes to give us some heavy lifting on Lovecraft Country, and plus the women claim they like her, something like that.
I'll just say already seen the whole season.
Yeah, no, past episode 4, I'll get y'all hype. I cannot wait to see episode 5.
Oh, you seen it? You seen it already?
Yeah, I have. That episode 5, man, like the internet on fire.
I'm about done with y'all special Negroes.
No, we gonna get you. We you part of the team. We'll get you there.
Oh man. Yeah. So I'm just telling everybody when Monday comes, when we do our show on Monday, we have Power, we have Lovecraft Country, we have P-Valley. We have what's the other one we have? We have the other boys episodes.
The boy, 2 episodes of the boys.
I'm just telling y'all, if you haven't watched it, that's on you because it's gonna be full spoilers. We're going on. We are going in on Monday. So if you haven't watched it, that's on you. Fair warning right now.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are liable to have probably some of the old fans that normally tune into this channel wake back up. There was a live stream me and Larry did last year where we had 100 and almost 90 some people on the live chat because we was taking phone calls just talking about Power, and people was calling up here because they loved Larry's obsession, his love affair with Ramona's forehead. They loved everything he used to say about that girl's forehead, from he could go sliding on her forehead to how he could see himself climbing her forehead. They were just loving everything Larry was saying about that woman.
All you gotta do is put a little Vaseline right there, and then you can go ahead and fix your hair right there. But she's so beautiful. I'm just saying, she thinks you're gazing into her eyes, and you're just, fixing your do. So,
ladies and gentlemen,
Mom Diggity.
Having said that, don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Larry's channel, subscribe to B. Avery's channel, subscribe to the gentleman that is in the video description link, Level by Level Gaming's channel. And until Sunday, when I drop the Power review, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you. boy.
And Mask Up.
Y'all dudes, man.